flour, sifted with 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour. That's 1, 2, 3/4, and 1¼ teaspoons of salt. So mix it together. Very easy. I think there's 5 ingredients if you count the 2 different flours and the salt. So it's milk, eggs, flour, salt. And, oh, by the way, preheat your oven to 450 degrees and have your popover pan heating in the oven while you prepare your popovers. 3 large eggs, beat those up with 1½ cups of whole milk. In Maine, popovers seems to be the traditional treat in Mount Desert Island, and they're made late in the afternoon for tea. People come to my house all the time just for popovers and tea or cappuccino, and you have to have a lot of homemade strawberry, raspberry, or kiwi jam on hand to serve with those popovers. And I can't wait to serve this version with whole wheat flour. And it's very important when you're baking popovers, when you're making the batter, to have everything at room temperature. Don't start with ice cold eggs and ice cold milk. Make sure everything is room temperature. And then this can be mixed with the flour, a little at a time. The popover is an American version of Yorkshire pudding. You know, the pudding that's cooked in the fat of the big standing rib roast at Christmas time. The first cookbook to print a recipe for popovers was M.N. Henderson Practical Cooking, 1876. So that's our batter. So easy. And so now, get your popover pans out of the oven. There's usually 6 to a rack. Now these should be brushed with a flavorless oil for easy extrication of the popovers. And then each little pan will take about ½ cup of batter. Now remember, these are very hot, so they've already started to cook. And if you want to make a lot of these at a time, I would suggest making the batter in batches in different bowls. Unlike muffin tins, popover pans have an open design which promotes even air circulation and heat all around the tins. Most are also made from heavy steel or cast aluminum coated with a non-stick surface. And their deep, steep-sided wells are key to forcing and producing tall, airy rolls with a full cap that pops up high above each cup. If you love popovers as much as I do, you'll want to get a real popover pan like this one. And these tins are really only useful for making popovers, but they make beautiful popovers. And I have the rack on some parchment paper just for easier cleanup. If you can save yourself the chore of washing all these pans, scrubbing them, burnt on batter and stuff, it really does save a lot of time. And parchment paper is inexpensive and very useful. So there, get this right into your 450 degree oven and put this in the lower third, bake for 20 minutes. And now set your timer, reduce the oven temperature at the end of 20 minutes to 350 degrees, and continue baking until the popovers are golden brown, dry to the touch, about 20 minutes more. So altogether, about 40 minutes. Don't open the oven as they bake. So now, when they have popped just like this, pull them out of the pans, and I like to just make a little slit right in the side, just to release any excess air and to keep the moisture from forming on the inside. So just like that's good. Now, don't those look superb? They are ready to eat. Let them cool just a little bit so you can handle them. And then what I like to do is just take one And let's see what it looks like inside. Very nice cavity, wouldn't you say? And slather with some lovely creamery butter, which will melt even further. So here's where you add the fat. Remember, we didn't have any fat in the batter. And I like it with apricot jam. A lot of apricot jam.